Good afternoon, welcome to the Daughter Arise channel. My name is Yvonne and this channel is all about bringing you content surrounding childhood sexual abuse. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can be notified of any new uploads. And if you like the content that I share, please hit the thumbs up button. Now on this channel, as I said, I do share content surrounding childhood sexual abuse. I am myself somebody who society considers a survivor, and that basically means somebody that has gone through a traumatic experience such as childhood sexual abuse that is basically here living to tell the tale. And what I try and do in this channel is to share things around my experiences of going through childhood sexual abuse, things I found hard or challenging, things that really helped me, things that empowered me. And I also share news stories and give commentary to those stories that I share. So if this is the type of content that you like, if you're a survivor or you're supporting somebody who's gone through this experience, then subscribe to this channel. So in today's video, I want to share with you some issues that I struggled with early on in my relationship. Now, I have been married for 15 years. I've been with my husband for 17 years. We first started dating when we were 21 years old for a short period of time, for about a year. Then we broke up, and then 5 years later we got back together, got engaged, and as they say, the rest is history. So we've been together a very long time. As I said, 17 years in total, 15 years of marriage. So my relationship with my husband is actually my first proper serious relationships. I had relationships before that, very short-lived. Obviously you have your initial teen relationship, which is like your first love relationship, and that relationship for me was quite dysfunctional. And then I had other short-lived relationships. Some weren't actually really relationships at all, really, but these relationships didn't require me to get in depth with somebody. You know, I was able to dodge and hide a lot of different things about myself. I was able to mask my trust issues. I was able to push the person that I was going out with away quite quickly by using all types of reasons and excuses. But when I got into my relationship with my husband, that was very, very different. I realized very soon after I met my husband that I really did love him and really cared for him, but I struggled with trying to get that across because I felt that if I was open and if I was saying to him openly I loved him and was being all lovey-dovey, that he would end up rejecting me. And I had a problem with rejection just because I went through that experience of being sexually abused in childhood. As we started to become more serious about our relationship, I realized that I couldn't hide some of the things that I used to hide before. So I really struggled in probably the first 5, I would say, to 8 years of my relationship with my husband. And God knows, I don't even know how he was able to put up with me at times, because I could be really difficult. So intimacy in our relationship was always very good, but I just had a problem with being present in the moment. And it's really strange because in no way, shape or form was my intimacy with my husband abusive or anything like that. It was enjoyable, but it was just that I had been used to blanking out, I suppose, in a way during this type of connection. But what helped me to get through that actually was when I started to, pray about it, have a more intimate relationship with God. And that helped me to open up and have a more intimate relationship with my husband. It was nothing that my husband was doing. My husband is a wonderful man. He's loving, he's kind. We have our ups and downs, as you do in all relationships. We've been married for, as I said, 15 years, together 17 years. Obviously, as part of a relationship, you have your ups and downs. So this is in no way a reflection of anything he was doing or not doing. He was very patient, very kind, very loving. Obviously, at times he would get frustrated with me because he just wanted us to just have a healthy relationship. But one of the things that I learned very early on is that I needed to deal with a lot of the issues that I was experiencing within myself. And it wasn't until I actually had this deep relationship with my husband that I realized that there were some other issues that were present from my childhood sexual abuse that I didn't quite put together at the time, and I didn't realise actually until after we got married. So as those issues came up, I had to go and, deal with them, as I said, through prayer, through therapy. Another big area in my relationship that I struggled with was in the area of trust. Now, my husband never did anything or has never done anything for me to doubt that he could never be trusted, but it was more to do with me. Because I went through this experience of going through childhood sexual abuse, I really struggled in general with just trusting people anyway. So, that really did put a lot of pressure on my relationship. And how I used to deal with my issues around trust was that I used to continuously push my husband away. Now, these are things I'm able to talk about now because these are past issues that I had in my relationship for a long period of time that I really struggled with. And I'm sharing this with you today because if you're somebody who's in a relationship, maybe you recognize these are some issues that you are struggling with. And I want to share this with you in hopes of encouraging you and just letting you know that you're not alone in experiencing this, and it's not that you're odd or weird. As a matter of fact, a lot of people who have gone through childhood sexual abuse, people who I know, who I support, people who I've had conversations with, colleagues, friends, have all had this problem within their relationship in some way or another. But a lot of people don't deal with it. They don't go to therapy. They don't talk to anybody about it. They just live in it. And, in a way, it's unfair on the partner and it's unfair on you because you both deserve to have a fulfilling relationship. I know I've deserved to have a fulfilling relationship, and so does my husband. We've invested a lot in our marriage, and I'm sure for you, otherwise you wouldn't be in your relationship, you've also invested a lot too. So trust was a really big deal for me, and I didn't realise I was doing it, pushing him away or causing arguments or causing diversions. Every time it felt like we were going one step deeper in our relationship in terms of opening up to each other about things that we've experienced in our lives. I really struggled with that. And that stemmed from my rejection from my own parents. It made me feel like I couldn't trust anybody. Trust is something that once it's damaged, it's really hard to get back. But one of the key things that helped me to turn things around was in understanding that all my trust issues had nothing to do with my husband. It had nothing to do with our relationship. These were things that I inherited from my past experiences. And slowly over time, when I started to realise that I was pushing my husband away, I was able to catch it before it happened. Like, I would stop, take a breath, and think about why was this happening? What was the lead up to what was happening in our relationship at that point? And that really did help me a lot. So another area I struggled in was in the area of constructive criticism. So if my husband would say something to me, I would take it immediately as a bad thing, that he was criticising me or putting me down. And he wasn't. He was just making a suggestion about something that I probably could look at doing better, or something that would probably help me with a certain situation. Or maybe he would notice how I reacted to something and said that it's not good to probably react in that way. It would immediately cause this kind of flare up where I would think he was personally attacking me or criticising me. And I had to learn that there is a difference between when somebody is giving you positive feedback or constructive criticism about something that's going to enable you to be a better person, or the other stuff, where somebody is just criticising you and being negative. They're not offering solutions, they're not helping you, they're just putting you down. And because I had a relationship where there was a lot of that, that really damaged my self-esteem. And again, I was bringing into my relationship things that I inherited from past hurts, from things that people had done to me before. So again, that was an area that I had to look at. It's taken years of work, personal work on myself, healing from a lot of things to get to this point. I mean, there's so many areas that I really struggled in having a relationship, and trust me, it takes a lot of hard work to be present, to work at a relationship, to push through difficult feelings. It is very, very difficult to be in a relationship if you haven't dealt with the issues from your own childhood sexual abuse, because what happens is that you end up projecting a lot of those issues onto your partner. It's very, very difficult for them. They just want to be with you. That's what I've learned from my situation in my marriage, in my relationship with my husband. My husband just wants us to have a great relationship. And it took me a long time to get to that stage where I started to feel that actually I deserve a really healthy relationship. I didn't have an idea of what a healthy, good relationship looked like. I had no role model in my life to show me that growing up. I didn't have a relationship where I could say that this was my model for how I would do it. I learned how to be in a relationship from my relationship with Jesus Christ. God started to show me things within myself that were damaging, things that needed healing, things I needed to work on. And he put people around me and resources around me, like therapy, like people around me that could pray with me, that could support me. When you're hurting and you haven't even acknowledged yourself, the things that you've gone through has really affected you, how are you supposed to give to somebody? You can't give to somebody if you yourself have nothing to give. It's like having a leaky bucket. When you've gone through this experience of going through sexual abuse, it wounds you, it damages you. And that damage leaves holes, leaves hurts, leaves unresolved issues. And those are the holes within your leaky bucket. They need fixing. Turning to God, just in your own space, praying and asking God to come into your heart, into your life, to reveal himself to you, to help you to overcome your pain. Going to therapy or, going to counseling, to help you to start to deal with some of those issues. Because really, if you desire to have a good relationship with your partner, these are some of the motivating factors that will help you to seek out these things to help you. I'm really glad that I was able to deal with a lot of my issues. And there are things that I do still recognize in myself that I am able to now self-check and deal with. One of the things I would say to you as somebody who is a survivor who's gone through abuse is to be mindful of your partner, be mindful of how they feel. And I am going to do a video to support and help partners of those who are in a relationship with somebody that's gone through sexual abuse. I do think it's really important because this is something I don't really see discussed. So that was just my video today on issues I struggled with in my relationship. I hope you found it helpful. I hope that you're able to take away something from it, even if it is just to know that somebody else has gone through the same things as you have. And if you do like the content, please hit the thumbs up button. Check out my website, www.daughterArise.org.uk. I write a fantastic blog on there called Hope in the Future, and also I do speaking events. I have a range of services that I do to support survivors of childhood sexual abuse. And if you want to contact me, you can contact me at info@daughterArise.org.uk. Until the next video, take care.